Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, collectors of all ages, welcome to a very special video that is near and dear to my heart that I didn't even come up with. My partner in crime, Grodd, did. So thank you very much. It's a bit of a different take today because, as I said, with AussieVerse, we are trying to branch out and have different content on here. And my favorite band of all time is Bon Jovi. And Mark said, what if we did a top 5 Bon Jovi songs? And I said, hell's yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Like, I figured everybody loves a music countdown, and like I would struggle to imagine anybody wouldn't know Bon Jovi or a Bon Jovi song out there. So I thought this would be fun. Like, we know Bon Jovi. We're in the right age group to starters as well. So it was hard for us not to avoid Bon Jovi when we were younger. So I thought it'd be fun. And it's near and dear to your heart, near and dear to my heart too, because this has got me through a lot of teenage years.
It's funny because most people that I know do not like Bon Jovi. I was alone for most of my life and throughout school.
Get him out of the circle.
Throughout school, I had to stand on my own 2 feet and be proud of my Bon Jovi love, while everyone was on about Metallica and Nirvana. And don't get me wrong, I love all those bands, but Bon Jovi was the best.
I love all those bands, near and dear to my heart too. And obviously I've got other bands that I love near and dear to my heart, but I got no complaints about Bon Jovi. I love majority of his music. It is what it is.
Well, ever since 1990, I don't know, 6 maybe, whenever the Keep the Faith tour was, that was the first time I ever saw Bon Jovi live, and I have gone every single time since.
I have an older sister, and she was absolutely obsessed with Bon Jovi, so it was hard not to be growing up in a household without Bon Jovi, so I embraced it.
We have recently drawn our 400 subscriber giveaway, where one lucky winner did win a $100 Amazon gift card. Did you miss out on that? Well, you should have been paying attention to AussieVerse's videos then, shouldn't you? We will be doing another one when we get to 500 subscribers, obviously, too. So stick around for that. If you ever do want to interact with us, you ever want to give us ideas for shows, or critique us, give us ideas, whatever the hell you want to talk to us about, we are more than happy to listen to. You can hit us up on Instagram at AussieVerse_Comx, where you can also interact and check out the works of our graphic designer and thumbnail creator and editor, A51_designs. Let's get down to it. Grodd, what is your number 5 favorite Bon Jovi song?
My number 5 is Wanted Dead or Alive. Iconic start to a song, I feel. It was a good kickstart to it, and then the whole when he breaks into the verse, it's hard not to sing along to. And like I just remember, like, I'm from country Victoria, so there's a lot of country sort of songs going along in the pubs along there, and this qualified for it, so I was just happy to be able to hear this in one of my local pubs and sing along to it. So yeah, very, very good memories of this song.
Did you ever remember when we were growing up, we would have been probably around 14, they released all of these CDs that were labeled unauthorized? And
yes,
they were really popular for a while, right? Yeah. I bought the 2 Bon Jovi ones, naturally, and that has the best version of Wanted Dead or Alive live that I've ever heard. And it's the guitarist, Richie Sambora. He does a version of Jimi Hendrix's Little Wing, which, if you don't know that, it's a big guitar, acoustic, beautiful sound, you know? And he plays it for like a good 5, maybe even 10 minutes. And then it just slowly morphs into down, 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 down. And it was freaking awesome, man. And I've never been able to grab that version anywhere else before again.
So yeah, it's kind of like the Def Leppard Stairway to Heaven. It finally kicks in after about 6 minutes.
Now, my top 5, because as I said, Bon Jovi is my favourite.
Did I say Def Leppard or Led Zeppelin?
You said Def Leppard, but yeah.
Led Zeppelin. Jesus, what am I doing?
So my top 5 are not going to be the hits that most people know. Bon Jovi are now up to something like 12 albums, and they have literally made well and truly over 200 songs. So when you have a catalogue that big, one of the things that annoy me with Bon Jovi is the songs they choose to release versus the songs they don't release. And my argument to people that don't like Bon Jovi because they don't like the power ballads, or they don't like the general feel of their like have a nice day, that sort of style of music, because that's all the general public know about Bon Jovi, because that's the songs he releases. When you hear the other songs that he doesn't release on the albums, man, I'm telling you, and that brings me to my number 5, and that is a song that is called When We Were Us. This song was written by John Bon Jovi after the band got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which was quite recent, actually, only in the last few years. Bon Jovi wrote this song about the band, about how it's always been about them and how they stood up for each other, and they were young and all they had was a dream, and now look at where they are now. And it's a beautifully written song, man. Like, it's almost like a love letter to his own band, and it's really, really beautiful. So I highly recommend go checking that out.
Nice. I will have to check that one out because I've never heard that. So my number 4 is Living on a Prayer. This one again is just a simple sing-along one. Again, country pub, sing along to it. It was always a song that everybody knew, and just like, do you know a song? What's it called again? I forgot the name of the band, but they sing it. They sing Rain.
Rain.
Yeah. So
no.
Cannot think of it. I'll think of it later. But anyway, just those songs that it's near impossible to sing along to. And this is one of them, Living on a Prayer. It's just that, whoa, living on a prayer. Just, yeah. So always up there, one of your favourites.
If you really love that song, then I'll highly recommend you look on YouTube for a concert they did. It was pretty much Bon Jovi unplugged, but it wasn't unplugged. They do a version of Living on a Prayer that is a lot slower, but then builds up. And it's a different version, but I've always really freaking loved it, man. Nearly more than the original.
I just thought of the band Dragon. So Dragon, Rain. So it's that Don't You Go Out in the Rain.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Dragon, yeah. That, I swear to God, like I'm recently planning for a wedding, and I said, put that on it because I dare anybody not to sing along to that chorus. I dare anybody not to sing along to that chorus. Even if you've never heard it before, you'll pick it up.
Sorry, and just quickly as well, you know what I love about Living on a Prayer, man? The fact that he's created these 2 characters in the song, right? Tommy and Gina.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentions Tommy and Gina in a couple of other songs too. So it's almost like their story continues, Oh God, what's their pop? Oh my God, I'm going completely blank. I need to know they're one of the most popular songs ever, and it's not on your list. It's My Life. Oh my God, that was killing me.
It's My Life. Yeah.
It's My Life. Yeah.
He mentioned that was quite a few years later.
Yeah,
Quite a
yeah.
while later, yeah.
He mentions them in that. Like Tommy and Gina, they never back down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he mentions them in another song as well. So yeah, that's pretty cool. My number 4 is one of their early songs, back on their second album, Slippery When Wet.
No,
I'd Die for You.
yeah.
Do you know that one?
I do actually, yeah.
Yeah, I thought you might. Oh, fuck, that always pumps me up, that song. I love it. I'd die for you.
All right, sweet. So my number 3 is Blaze of Glory. Obviously, I'm a big Young Guns fan as well, so it's from that movie, Young Guns 2. But also to another little story. Back in, I think I was about 22. I was playing cricket, and I was a terrible batsman, but I was a good bowler. Well, I wasn't even a good bowler, but I was a bowler and I was a terrible batsman. So what I did, I had no patience. I just tried to slog everything. So we made it to the grand final, and everybody put a song on when we would come out to bat. And when we walk out to bat, and they'll play it over the loudspeakers as we walk out to bat. Now, my song was Blaze of Glory. Now, I did not choose it, but yeah, that's the way I played in cricket. I was going out in a blaze of glory. So, but yeah, I couldn't have been happy about it because I love the song too. So, love Blaze of Glory, love Young Guns too. Very big nostalgia for me. So, yeah.
Sweet. My number 3 is probably the most rockinest of Bon Jovi songs. And when I say rockinest, I mean, for lack of a better term, hardcore. Bon Jovi have gone some pretty hard songs before, but this one makes you fucking go nuts, man. And Claudia, my partner, absolutely loves it. It is called Homebound Train, and the drums and the guitar in this one is just insane. And I find it hard that the amount of people that I've played this song for, and they're like, "That's Bon Jovi," and I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Wow, I didn't know they did songs like that." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, this is it's so cool, so cool."
It is one of those things. Is you don't know the band like hardcore as like you do. You might not know. You only know the hits, and so you don't know what their other songs that don't quite get the mainstream. That is probably more them.
Yep.
I guess in a way. So an example that I think they just popped up in a movie we were watching in the background the other day, Scooby-Doo. We were watching the original Scooby-Doo. But a band on there was Sugar Ray. I was a Sugar Ray fan growing up, but you might not know this, but Sugar Ray is a heavy metal band. Their only songs that made hits were their softer songs.
Oh,
so you buy their actual album, you're not going to get what you think.
Oh, yeah, that is interesting.
They toned down a little bit when they got more mainstream, but even back when they first got big, their only songs that got popular were their slower songs. And you buy their album, they've got a few heavy songs in there.
Yeah, cool. All right, yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. So yeah, number 2. I will go Bed of Roses. So a bit of slower, softer song, but yeah, love this track. Again, a bit of nostalgia to it and stuff like that. It's a beautifully written song, and just so many different tones to it. I guess it is a long song, but it's kind of in the same realm as like I'm a massive November Rain fan for Guns N' Roses because there's just so many different types of tones and beats to the song that it's quite lovely and it all works. Like there's a guitar solo, there's a soft bit, and then there's a heavier bit, and then there's it kind of feels like a story. Which most songs are, I guess, but yeah, this really feels like it had to be an emotional, heart-driven story. So yeah, love this song.
Plus, the lyrics in Bed of Roses is some of the most beautiful words for a song that I've ever heard, and it's so poetic. It's so artistic. It's amazing how he was able to create these lyrics. So, amazing, you know. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, people, ignore the chorus, which is still very good, and look up the words to the verses of Bed of Roses. It is chef's kiss.
Yeah. If you ever want to make, back in the day, we used to make mixtapes and give them to girls we were interested in. This could have been on the list.
My number 2 is one that I've never heard anybody say that they know. You mentioned Blaze of Glory.
Mm-hmm.
What people aren't aware of, I don't think anyway, unless you're a Bon Jovi fan, is that whole Blaze of Glory album, not just the song, but the whole album was written for Young Guns too.
Yep.
Whoever, when they were making Young Guns 2, asked Bon Jovi if they could use, I think it was Wanted Dead or Alive for the movie. And Bon Jovi said, no, I'll write you something specifically that'll be better. And he created Blaze of Glory. But every single song on that album is about either Billy the Kid or Pat Garrett or something in the Billy the Kid storyline.
Yeah.
And my favorite song on that whole album that when I'm alone, I will pelt out like you wouldn't believe. I can't get the notes like he can, obviously, but it is amazing, amazing song. And again, the lyrics are just freaking beautiful. And that is Santa Fe.
I've got a feeling I've heard of that one.
Yeah,
because we did have that album when growing up, so in our household.
Yeah.
Okay. I do remember another song on that album that I really liked, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah. The album wasn't great, you know, compared to because there are Bon Jovi albums where I like literally every single song. And there's the rare album where it's only a few songs that I like. And Blaze of Glory only had a few songs that I liked. But this was great.
I remember there being about 2, but I'm trying to remember. Usually when I remember songs, I remember the track number.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking around about 9-ish. I'm thinking it was later in the album, so I can't remember.
Well, I'd love to know your opinion on all of my top 5 after you go listen to them.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'll put them on my playlist. But yeah, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, and Bon Jovi is in Young Guns too, as well.
Yeah, I've never been able to watch him though.
Yeah, he gets killed and falls through the window. You barely see his face.
I've never been able to see him. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. All right, my number 1 is Magnificent Love Song, and I love it so much. And another song that I love to sing along to, and that is Always. Look, again, this just feels like a short movie. Again, it's got every single emotion you could possibly think in it. I guess in the end, when you do actually think about it, it's a very sad-ish song.
Oh yeah.
When you do break down the lyrics, it's a very sad song. People do think it's a love song. It is not. It's him missing her and sort of thing, basically. But
yeah.
But yeah, you get the point. But it's to me, it's very well written, delivered. I even loved the film clip. The film clip was amazing. Yeah, a song I'll happily play or I'll happily enjoy anytime it comes on.
I always used to love, because I'm a drummer, I always used to love that. Just that first 5 seconds. Oh yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Plus, did you ever see Jet Li's movie Romeo Must Die?
Yeah.
Well, Always was written for that movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
And Bon Jovi then said no to it because he didn't realize how violent it was going to be. And didn't really suit what he was trying to do with it.
Yeah.
My favorite Bon Jovi song of all time has always been and always will be If I Was Your Mother. This song came out on Keep the Faith album, and just like I mentioned with Homebound Train, it is a lot more heavier than what they're used to. But the premise behind this song is him, which sounds really wrong on paper, but if you listen to the lyrics, it'll make more sense. It's about him saying, how can I be important to you? How can I make you love me like I matter? If I was your mother, then I would matter to you, and you would listen to me. And yeah, it's really, really cool, man. I've always loved it, and I've never heard him do it live, and I've always wanted to.
Yeah, it's always the case when you're a hardcore fan, and you know all the songs, and they've had about, as you said, so many albums. There's going to be a lot of songs you'll never hear live, no matter how many times you go see them.
Yeah.
Because they'll always play the classics, unfortunately. So, yeah. Well, not unfortunately. Right? That's what people want to hear. But, yeah.
Well, I just can't wait till they come out next, because I'm going to be taking Claudia, because at least the last, I don't know, 5 times I've seen Bon Jovi, I've gone alone. And I've had to stand there rocking out on my own, you know. A couple of times I've been in the areas where people are just sitting down, and I look like I'm on like all these drugs, because I'm so pumped up, and I'm standing there and I'm rocking my hair, and I'm like, yeah, and people are like sitting, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Get up! You came for Bon Jovi. What are you sitting down for? So yeah, I can't wait for that day.
I do, because I've been to quite a few concerts by myself, and I always got a bad sort of track record when I rock up to a concert by myself, that I'm sit next to the most drunkest person on the planet, and I don't even care about the fucking band.
Yeah.
I did that in Canada. I went to Iron Maiden.
Oh.
And there was a group of dudes that come from Calgary or something like that, and they were just on a boys' weekend. And they weren't even watching, and they were blind, and they just ruined it, and it was horrible.
Oh, mate. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for indulging us. This has been our top 5 Bon Jovi songs on AussieVerse. Thank you very much, Grodd, for coming up with this one. I'm looking forward to doing more of these with different bands. We will see you Monday for our next live chat, and throughout the week for more videos. And as always, AussieVerse is for life. Please go check out our sponsor, Comx, where you can buy 1 Australian comic, you can buy 50 Australian comics, and it will only cost you one. Oh, why did I press that?
I did that.
That shipping rate. Go check them out, because we love comics, and you will too if you go check out. All righty, yeah. No worries then. We'll see you later. Thank you very much. If I was your mother.
This show is sponsored by the Comx shop. Check out comx.cx for all things Comx and find out what Comx is all about. We hope you enjoyed the show.